Chaos, chaos, chaos. What a chaotic deck list you are, because it is such an annoying deck to build, mainly due to the fact that it's so open-ended. You can go in multitude of different ways. But somehow you managed to top the WGP Season 2 in JP at the top 16. Unfortunately, you can't go into top 8, but the fact that you managed to hit into top 16 is impressive in itself. And for those players who pilot those decks, top 16 omedetou gozaimasu. Otsukare-sama deshita. And today I just want to share my own Chaos deck list. It does have some inspiration elements from those deck lists based on the words that my friend mentioned. So I didn't say the deck list myself, so if I get the deck list to the T, do mention in the comment below, and I apologize in advance. But yeah, today I'm gonna be covering the Chaos deck list and how each of the cards kind of played into overall Chaos elements. As you can see here, I'm on Decklist's website today instead of my usual top-down face setup, because I feel this is a better way to give you guys a deck list, as I'll be including the deck code in the description as well. So if you guys finish the video and you feel like, oh, I want to see this whole deck list afterwards, I will leave those code in the description for you guys to use this deck list in general.
Nice.
And once again, full disclosure, this have heavily elements inspired by the top 16 Chaos player deck list, but this is heavily based on the words of my friends who didn't show me the deck list but just tell what cards they run. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content, consider clap that subscribe button, as it will help me tremendously, and leave a like and share for toppers. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start off with the right decks. And as you can see here, I'm going with the original Chaos right line, mainly for one reason: the one who go on Chaos. This card is a crux of this build, and if you do run this order, you have to run this style of Chaos right deck, because it's the best way for you to take benefit of the order the most. But if you decided to go a different route, like for example Song of Extolment, then I would say you can replace the grade 1 Chaos with Flaming Pony. Oh wait, sorry, Flaming Pony, to get a guaranteed Soul Charge 2, and also it allows you to open slot for Brainwash if that's your kink. Then moving on to the duplicate cards that I run. So just like the previous video, I'm gonna go through all the duplicates first before I go to the unique one. We have Aura Trio, and Aura Trio in my opinion is a crux of this deck, as it will heavily dictate whether are you going to play the normal way you do play Chaos, or you're going to play the Aura Trio way, because the way you play these two decks are very different. This is due to the fact that Aura Trio gives you 2 additional units on the field, one to the hand, one to the field, and this changes everything as it triggers many of the card effects. And if you have the one who go in Chaos in Soul, you can add it to hand to activate it as well. So there is a lot of way you can utilize this additional skill, and the Soul Charge tree is a very nice touch if you have, like I said before, Brainwash Swirler. And to be fair, this is a fair upgrade to the original Chaos with the additional crit and plus the power to himself as well. So run 4 at all times is highly recommended based on my experience. Moving on to the other duplicate, we have McMegane, both of them at 4, and this is kind of obvious why, the grade 3 Mikani being your main finisher in the game, while the grade 1 Mikani is also your soul builder as well as your 2 box into Mikani in general. I don't have much to say about it, but I would say, is there an alternative to grade 1 Mikani? Because it is extremely expensive right now. Unfortunately, there is some alternative you can run, like Gun Rum, or like I said just now, Brainwash, but it doesn't do as much great of a job as the grade 1 Mikani. Disappointed! So if you can get 4 of them, try to get it if possible. Then next duplicates, we have Agamanats, which essentially is a new card, and I feel is quite a playmaker in the deck, surprisingly. This is due to his ability to self-call itself when you crawl a grade 3 Mikani from Soul, allowing you to essentially replace 1 card from Soul, and also enable this a boost, which change into its first effect, which allow you to add more card into Soul and add more card into your hand. So to put it simply, this is a great card going first or going second, because it helps you regardless of which part of the game you are at, except for maybe much later in the game where your deck size is not as big. Be careful when you play this card, but try to play it when it is possible. And we have total of 3 more duplicate cards that we run in this deck list.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
and that is Inhale Pit, Quellu, and of course the one who go on Chaos. So in this deck list, I decided to reduce the number of the one who go on Chaos to 3. This is due to the fact that Chaos right line kind of screw your deck up if you pull any order during the grade 1 or grade 2 effects. So minimizing it is extremely crucial. But again, this is a playmaker of the deck as well, so that's why I run at 3 in general, just to minimize the amount of order I have in my deck in general. And then moving on to Quellu, this is quite obvious. It's a part of the finisher. In all honesty, you don't really need Quellu to finish the game most of the time, but it will always guarantee you win 80% of the time if you manage to give this effect to both of the Bikanis. And last but not least is Inhale Pit. This card I already run at 1 to begin with, but I decided to increase it to 2 mainly because of the comment that my friend said when he suggested this idea to me, and that is the fact that this card just speed up 13 much faster if you have 2 of them on the field, and it also encourage you to guard early, which means that you can live through the games at least until turn 4 a little bit more better. And let's be real here, I kind of agree with his idea here. Because of the problem with the current Chaos with the new support is that it tends to have problem live until turn 4, and Inhale Pit seems to be able to take advantage of you constantly guarding and essentially just increase the amount of soul at the same time. And let's be real here, graveyard interaction is rare in Vanguard, so the fact that there is a card that can do that for you is great in general. Moving on to the singular cards, I'm just gonna get some out of the way, and that is PG. I'm run 1 of each of the unique effect PG, and then Elementary Sanctitude, which is, you know, typical for any competitive deck, but for Chaos it's a little bit more annoying because you have to run 1 of each of the effect PGs. Then we have Horatio, which I run at 2 in my previous deck list, but I decided to reduce it to 1 this time. This is mainly due to the fact that over time I feel that 10k guard from this card is just not worth it, even though it is still a decent booster with a 15k. And then we also have 1 Hypnotes because I love this card. This card, over time it also became a 20k unit, so if you run into the situation where you don't get a Mikani at all, you can use it as a beater as well. Then I run 1 of the Girl Who Leave the Bound. I'm not sure that that's the correct name or not, but essentially this is kind of like deck slot in the sense that you can run multiple different cards here. I run this one in particular is because it goes well for Oratorio game where when you play the order, it can call out itself from soul as well, making additional booster, which essentially guaranteed your heavy board during the Oratorio turn in general. So you can see that a lot of card I'm playing here is kind of built towards Oratorio playstyle in general because it's just a much more worth it playstyle to go for. Then last but not least we have Barney, which is essentially an OG card to run in Chaos. I decided to run this is just mainly because it is capable of retooling Mikani, the grade 1, Gwenlu, and Inhale Pit. So essentially this is a tool to link into all the toolbox that I have in Soul in general, and it essentially helps to extend the play. This is technically also can be replaceable with Shredder, but I see Shredder is a little bit more hard to use due to its ability to force you to call into the same column, which kind of affects the way you can play double Mikani with Gwenlu effects in general. So I found Barney is a little bit more flexible and cheaper as well. And last but not least we have trigger lineups. I go for a ratio of 7 crits, 3 draws, 1 front, and the OT of choice I decided to go with is Pharaoh. Pharaoh in my opinion is a better option than Valnau in the sense that it helped to maintain your survivability throughout the game, and that had 100 billion K and additional crit will always come in handy, and that 1+1 from drop zone can come in handy as well, especially for the deck that doesn't have a strong hand size in general. And that is it for my deck list video. I know that it's been a while since I do this and I changed the style up a bit, so do leave down in the comments below whether you enjoy this deck list or not, and do comment what are your thoughts of deck choice for Chaos, cause I'm excited to see different people's opinion on it because it's such an open-ended deck. So yeah, do comment down, and that's all I have for today guys. Take care of yourself, and this is McMegane signing out.